Welcome to Outlaws and Gunslingers. From the Wild West to the rise of organized crime during the Prohibition, all the way up to today, America has had criminals, gangs, and law enforcement trying to bring them down. Join us as we profile some of the most infamous criminals, gangsters, outlaws, and lawmen in American history. True crime like you've never heard it before. Ladies and gentlemen, here are your hosts, Bang and Dang.
Welcome back to Outlaws and Gunslingers with your hosts Bang and Dang, back with another remastered episode. Still in this Wild West era of our remastering, this time with maybe the fastest and deadliest outlaw there ever lived in the Wild West. Some people say.
We should probably start like mixing them up with the remasters.
Nope.
Instead of going straight through again.
Why would we do that?
Why not?
Because
it's
not like we're going to remaster one we just did a month ago.
Maybe.
No, that's not how that works. That's why in 4 years from now, when we get to that, it'll be 4 years old.
Oh.
Well, probably more than 4 years since we're only doing it once a month.
All right.
Some don't even need to be remastered anyway, so, you know.
We'll see.
We'll see. John Wesley Hardin we got today. Fastest gun in the West.
Supposedly.
Definitely killed a lot of people. I think it was 27 confirmed, maybe even up to 48, I believe, was the predictions for this guy. Yeah, he just was killing people left and right. Famous, obviously more famous for shooting somebody for snoring. Right to the wall.
Right to the wall.
And, so this guy, pretty cool character. Loved Wild Bill Hickok as well.
He did.
And was afraid of him. So, look at that. Before we get into it, go check out our YouTube at Bang Dang Network. Link will be in the description. If you're listening on YouTube, go check it out. Or Spotify, Apple. Give us a review. Subscribe to YouTube. And answer that Spotify question. Named after the founder of the Methodist Church, John Wesley, James was born in 1853 near Bonham, Texas. His father, James Gipp Hardin, was a Methodist preacher.
Oh.
Hardin described his mother, Mary Elizabeth Dixon, as blonde, highly cultured, while charity predominated her life.
Dixon with an S and X. Never seen that before.
Dixon.
Right.
Dixon.
What ethnicity do you think that is?
It sounds like it's Protestant. I don't know.
Okay.
His dad traveled Central Texas preaching and eventually settled in Sumter, Texas in 1859. All right. There, Hardin's father established and taught at the school that John Hardin and his siblings attended.
Fantastic.
Hardin was the second surviving son of 10 children.
Damn.
The Hardins were Southerners and politically prominent. His great-grandfather was North Carolina Provincial Congressman Colonel Joseph Hardin.
Fantastic.
The cousin of Senator Martin D. Hardin of Kentucky, and the father of Congressman John J. Hardin. Relatives included Congressman Benjamin Hardin, Revolutionary War Colonel John Hardin of Virginia, and opposing Civil War generals Martin Davis Hardin and Benjamin Hardin Helm.
Oh.
At the outbreak of said Civil War, Hardin's father was elected as a Confederate captain as well.
Whoa, look at that shit. Wow. Okay, so we got politics and fighters, huh?
Right.
Look at that shit. Well, Hardin, he was a problem child right from the get-go. 1862, age 9. He tried to run away and joined the Confederate Army. 1867,
Wyatt Earp tried to do that too?
Yeah, it was Wyatt Earp, wasn't it? 1867, while attending the school that his father founded, Hardin was being teased by a student named Charles Slaughter. He accused Hardin of putting graffiti on schoolhouse wall that said something dirty about a female classmate. Hardin was like, it was you that did that, not me. And then Slaughter went after him with a knife. But Hardin ended up stabbing Charles Slaughter and almost killing him. He got in trouble. Well, he wasn't even expelled from school. You're allowed to do that kind of stuff.
Boys will be boys.
Right.
Age 15, November of 1868, James challenged one of his uncle's slaves, Major Holhausen, to a wrestling match, which Hardin won. The next day, Hardin claimed...
Well, did he win? You know the slave wasn't allowed to win.
Well, the next day, Hardin claimed that the man confronted him, shouting and waving a stick.
Oh, shit.
Hardin took out his revolver and shot him 5 times. He went to get help for him, but he ended up dying 3 days later. In his autobiography, he wrote that his dad didn't believe he would get a fair trial, seeing how they lived in a Union-occupied state where a third of the police were indeed former slaves themselves.
Oh, no.
And he's a Southern guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Not at all, buds. Wow, the Popo found out where Hardin was and sent 3 Union soldiers to arrest him. Despite being told by his older brother Joseph, he chose to confront his pursuers. In his autobiography that he wrote, he said, "I waylaid them, as I had no mercy on men whom I knew only wanted to get my body, to torture and kill. It was war to the knife for me, and I brought it on by opening the fight with a double-barreled shotgun and ended it with a cap and ball 6-shooter. Wow. Thus, it was by the fall of 1868 I had killed 4 men and was myself wounded in the arm." Quote, unquote.
You guy.
Look at this guy.
Now, with all that happening, he knew he couldn't return home, so...
Dude, 4 guys before your 16th birthday.
Right.
Holy shit.
That. And, well, all of his crimes happened before he's 23 as well, so... he knew he couldn't return home, so he went to the Pisgah area of Navarro County with an outlaw named Frank Polk. Polk was on the run himself after killing a man named Tom Brady. Soldiers from Corsicana.
TB12, no.
Soldiers from Corsicana, Texas were after him.
Oh, shit.
Soldiers caught up with him and Polk was arrested, but Hardin escaped.
Okay.
While in Pisgah, he taught school. All right.
What?
I guess. He claims that he shot a man's eye out to win a bottle of whiskey and a bet. Hardin also claims that he and his cousin Simp Dixon, this time spelled without the S,
Right.
what's going on there? They ran into a group of soldiers and they each shot and killed one,
Oh.
as well as Hardin claiming he killed a black man in Leon County, Texas, all within this little time period that we're in. Jeez, dude.
Look at this guy. 5th of January, 1870. He was playing cards in Tawash, Texas, with a man named Benjamin Bradley. Hardin, he was winning every single hand, and this pissed off Bradley so much that he said if he won a hand again, that he would cut out his
Oh, it's not
liver.
his fault. Play better, Bradley.
Right. Bradley then drew a knife and a 6-shooter, but Hardin, he was unarmed, so he left.
All right.
Later that very night, Bradley came looking for him, and when he saw Hardin, he fired a shot at him, but missed. Hardin drew 2 pistols, shot Bradley once in the head and then once in the chest.
Oh, shit.
A good number of people witnessed this, so we know from this incident that Hardin had holsters sewn into his vest with the butts of his pistols pointing inward towards his chest. Yes, because he did this, huh? Mm-hmm. He crossed his arms to draw and said this was the fastest way to draw, and that he practiced it every single day.
Practice makes perfect.
Right. Around this very time, he also killed 2 men in Hill County.
Hey, might well. After killing Bradley, a posse of 15 men came after him, and he claims he captured 2 of them and stole their shotgun, 2 6-shooters, a rifle, 2 Derringers, and sent them back to the posse and told them to wait for him. He said, "I reckon they're waiting for me yet. Still waiting for me." Later that month, January 20th, he was in Limestone County and killed a man after an argument at the circus. Less than a month after this incident, Hardin was accompanying a prostitute home when her pimp confronted him and demanded money. Hardin threw the money on the ground and shot the pimp when he went to pick it up. He said, "Near that bastard, take the money."
Well, let's take a look. Flash forward to January of 1871. Hardin arrested for murder of Waco City Marshal Laban John Hoffman. But he said, "I didn't do that."
What you in here for, man? I didn't do it.
He was placed in a log jail in the city of Marshall. Wait, transfer to Waco. Don't go to Waco, bud. Government can kill you. While there, he bought a revolver from another prisoner.
Just arms deals inside the prison.
Hey, what do you got? I just got this revolver. I got the sawed off here. Got this buck knife. Got a couple cartons of pre-rolls.
Jeez.
What's a carton of pre-rolls?
Right.
Buying a revolver from another prisoner, huh? Fantastic. I wonder if they let him keep the revolver but take all the bullets. No.
Highly doubtful.
Right. What do you do? Have it up his ass or something?
Might have. Maybe they'd never even searched him.
Right. Texas State Police.
And where'd he get money from anyways? Just let him keep his money too? Just terrible lawmen.
Right. What the hell's going on? Texas State Policeman Edward Stakes and Jim Smalley, they were assigned to escort him back to Waco. When they stopped to make camp along the way, Stakes had to go find food for the horse, and he left Hardin alone with Smalley. Hardin, he claims that Smalley started beating him with the butt of his pistol, and he faked cried and huddled like a pony. Nope, he huddled by a pony. I guess it's kind of like a pony. While huddling, he took out the gun he bought and killed Smalley and took his horse to escape. He then claimed that he was arrested by 3 men named Smith, Jones, and Davis, but he shot and killed all 3 while they were drunk and careless, and he escaped again.
Jeez. After the killings of the 3 men, he hid out with his cousins who were living in Gonzales. They told him he could make money cattle driving in Kansas.
All right.
Hoping that being out of state for a while would lose his pursuers, he went rustling cattle with his cousins for Jake Johnson and Columbus Carroll.
Fantastic.
In February, while the herd was being collected for a drive to Kansas, a freed man named Bob King tried to cut a beef cow out of the herd. Uh-oh.
No, you can't do that.
Hardin told the man to stop, but he didn't listen, so he busted him over the head with his pistol.
I mean, yeah, you're trying to steal him.
Didn't kill him, though.
Right.
Well, that same month, he wounded 3 Mexican men while playing cards, hitting one over the head with his gun, shooting one in the arm, and shooting the third one in the lung.
Oh, shit.
Jeez, dude. Where's this guy hanging out?
I know, he's supposed to be laying low, bud. He's like an actual guy in the Western movies.
Right. Just going and
Gee.
causing a ruckus everywhere.
Right. Gee, freaking Johnny Ringo. While driving cattle on the Chisholm Trail to Abilene, which is in Kansas, in the summer of 1871. Hardin, he is known to have fought Mexican vaqueros and cattle rustlers, whatever Mexican vaqueros are.
Bandit, man.
Towards the end of the drive, a Mexican herd crowded in behind Hardin's, and there was some trouble keeping the 2 herds apart. Hardin, he exchanged words with the man in charge of the other herd, but both men were on horseback. The Mexican fired his gun at Hardin, putting a hole through Hardin's hat. Ooh. Hardin found that his own weapon, a worn-out cap and ball pistol with a loose cylinder, it wouldn't even fire. He dismounted and managed to discharge the gun by steadying the cylinder with one hand and pulling the trigger with the other. He hit the Mexican in the thigh. And then a truce was declared, and both parties went their separate ways.
All right, man, you got me.
However, Hardin, he borrowed a pistol from a friend, and he went looking for the old Mexican. This time, shot him dead through the head. Damn. A firefight between the rival camps ensued. Hardin claimed that 6 Mexican bandits died in the exchanges, 5 of them reportedly shot by him.
Hardin also claimed to have killed 2 Indians in separate gunfights on that same cattle drive.
Oh, wow.
The first instance was when an Indian tried to shoot an arrow at him on the South Canadian River. Hardin shot him and then had the body buried to avoid retribution from the man's tribe.
You ain't kidding.
Second incident at Bluff Creek, Kansas, occurred when the Indians wanted to collect a tax on the cattle.
Oh.
Hardin hit an Indian over the head who he claimed had stolen a silver brittle from him, and then he forced a war party to flee after he shot a second Indian who had killed a beef cow. Who had killed a beef cow.
Well, I mean, come on. You can't be killing the guy's cows.
Right. Well, they're not theirs either. They're wrestling them. But
when he got to Abilene, he and a friend named Payne got into a fight with an unnamed man who was an anti-Texan. Ooh. Payne was wounded in the arm, and Hardin shot the man in the mouth. He then fled the Cottonwood Trail. July 4th, 1871, a man named William Coran, who was killed on the trail 40 miles south of Abilene by a Mexican who fled south. The Mexican was killed by 2 cowboys in Sumner County, Kansas. And Hardin not only admitted to being involved in the shooting of the Mexican outlaw, but he also claimed to have been deputized as a law officer and received a reward from Texas cattlemen for helping to shoot the John Doe killer.
I don't know about that.
Well, maybe the reward from the cattleman, but I don't know about
Deputized.
Right.
Well, back in Abilene, Hardin had his first encounter with the one and only Wild Bill Hickok. He was acquainted with the owners of the Bull's Head Tavern, which were Ben Thompson and Phil Coe. When they painted a bull with a penis on the side of their building, residents started complaining to Wild Bill. They refused Wild Bill's request to remove it, so he did it himself. Thompson tried to hype Hardin up by saying, "He's a damn Yankee, picks on rebels, especially Texans, to kill."
Ooh.
Hardin, going under the name of Wesley Clemens, but known to the townspeople as Little Arkansas, he respected Bill, and he told Thompson, "If Bill needs killing, why don't you kill him yourself?"
Yeah, he's like, no, he might do a lot of stupid stuff.
Have you heard of Wild Bill? I mean,
I ain't no damn
Artard.
What's the guy's name that actually killed him?
McCall?
Yeah. My name's
Jack McCall?
My name's not Jack McCall. Later on that very night, Wild Bill, he confronted Hardin. He told him he couldn't have his pistols on him in town. And he said, "Hand him over, boy." Hardin, he reached down, got his guns from the holster, and handed them butt first to Bill. That's a sign of respect there. Like, here you go, boy. When Bill went to grab them, Hardin rolled them over in his, okay, all right, okay. I thought he was just going to do some stuff here. So Hardin rolled his guns over in his hands, and suddenly Bill was staring down the barrels. Could have killed him right there.
Could have.
Both men backed down, and nothing came of it. This whole time Hardin was in town, Bill had no knowledge that he was a wanted man. And he told Hardin to avoid causing trouble while in Abilene. He's like, "Oh, you keep them, just don't cause any trouble."
Okay, Bill.
All right, Bill. They would meet up again on a cattle drive in August 1871. When they got back in town, Bill allowed Hardin to carry his guns into town, which he never allowed anyone to do.
Oh, Bill's got a little soft spot.
Mutual respect there. I like it. Hardin, he was fascinated by Bill, and he loved being seen as friends with such a celebrated gunfighter. Hardin claims, so this guy's kind of like a
little groupie for Wild Bill.
Right, and he's kind of like a real-life Billy the Kid. Even though Billy the Kid was real. But he's more of a Billy the Kid.
Right. He's a John Wesley Hardin.
The Kid. Right. Fantastic. Hardin, he claims that when his cousin Manning Clements was jailed for killing 2 cowhands in July of 1871, old Bill Hickok, he arranged for his escape.
Highly doubtful.
Nah, I don't think so.
Highly doubtful.
Yeah, I don't know.
August 6, 1871, Hardin, his cousin Gil Clements, and a friend named Charles Cougar checked in at the American House Hotel after a night of gambling. Clements and Hardin shared one room with Cougar in the adjacent room. All 3 men had been drinking heavily, and sometime during the night, Hardin was woke up by loud snoring coming from Charles's room.
Oh.
He shouted several times for the man to roll over. Pissed off that he was still snoring, he fired several shots through the wall to wake him up.
Right, not meaning to kill him, you know.
Well, unfortunately for Charles, he was hit in the head by the second bullet and killed instantly.
Son of a bitch.
He didn't mean to kill Charles, but still violated an ordinance of firing guns in the city, so, half-dressed and still drunk, him and his cousin climbed out the window onto the roof. He saw Bill arrive with 4 policemen and later wrote in his autobiography, "If Wild Bill found me in a defenseless condition, he would take no explanation, but would kill me to add to his reputation."
I don't know, maybe.
Of course he would.
Yeah, probably.
I told you, fool. I let you take your guns in town and you betray me like this.
Right. I get it. Well, Hardin, he jumped off the roof and hid in a haystack for the rest of the night. In the very morning, he stole a horse. Now he's a horse thief. Oh, shit. You're definitely going to get hung for that.
Right.
And he rode to a cow camp about 35 miles away. While there, he ambushed the lawman and the 2 other deputies there.
Jeez.
He didn't kill them. He just made them remove all their clothes and walk back to Abilene. Very next day, Hardin left for Texas and never returned to Abilene again.
I bet he didn't.
Local newspaper reported that a man was killed in his bed at a hotel in Abilene Monday night by a desperado called Arkansas. The murderer escaped. This was his 6th murder. Well, some years later, Hardin would say, "They say I killed 6 or 7 men just for snoring." Well, it ain't true. I only killed 1 man for snoring. Later in his contradictory 1896 autobiography, Hardin, he completely omitted the snoring man from the story. He probably felt bad for that. Felt like a piece of shit.
There's my friend.
And he related not only a wrong date, July 7th instead of August 6th, but claimed the shooting was a case of self-defense, saying that the man he killed had first tried to stab him with a dirk and was a burglar who tried to make off with his pants.
I don't think so. It's a little late now, Hardin.
Right.
Well, following his escape, Hardin claimed to be involved in the following gunfights.
Oh, wow.
October 1871, Hardin was involved in a gunfight with 2 Texas special policemen, Private Green Paramore and John Lackey, during which Paramore was killed and Lackey wounded. A Negro posse from Austin, Texas came after him for killing Paramore.
Negro posse?
Yeah, but said they returned sadder and wiser after he ambushed and killed 3 of them.
Sadder and wiser.
About 45 miles outside Corpus Christi, after he was followed by 2 Mexicans, he shot one off his horse while the other one quit the fight, supposedly.
Right.
June 19th, 1872, Hardin was involved in a gunfight in Willis, Texas.
All right.
July 26, 1872, Hardin wounded Texas State Policeman Sonny Spates in the arm with a Derringer pistol in Hempville, Texas.
All right.
Jeez.
Damn. Well, later on, 1872, Hardin, he was around Gonzales County. About this time, he married Jane Bowen and started hanging out with her brother, Robert Bowen, who was a cattle rustler himself. He also reconnected with his cousins, who allied with the Taylors, which was a local family who were in a feud with another local family, the Suttons. All right, you got the fucking Hatfield and McCoys going on here. I like it.
There is a whole section about it as well.
Is there? Nice. 7th of August, 1872. Oh, Hardin wounded by a shotgun blast by a man named Phil Sublett for beating him in poker.
Jeez, people just can't take too kindly to losing in poker, do they?
Right. 2 of those little BBs penetrated Hardin's kidney.
Ooh.
Almost died, but he didn't.
While recuperating from his wounds, Hardin decided he wanted to settle down. He said, "I don't think this life's for me anymore, boys."
It's just one little shot, and he's like, "One little shot." My mom got scared.
Well, after this, he surrendered to Sheriff Reagan, who was a brother of John Henniger Reagan, of Cherokee County, Texas. He was wounded in the right knee by an accidental gunshot from a nervous deputy, though.
Holy shit.
Hardin made a sickbed surrender to authorities, handing over his guns to the Sheriff Reagan and asking to be tried for his past crimes in order to clear the slate.
Oh, shit.
However, when Hardin learned of how many murders Reagan was going to charge him with, he changed his mind.
Right.
A relative smuggled a hacksaw to Hardin, who escaped after cutting through the bars of a prison window. November 1872, Hardin escaped from the Gonzales County, Texas jail despite a guard of 6 men. And after that, he was had a $100 reward on his head after that. What, only $100?
It's like $1,000, right? Wow. 15th of May, 1873, Jim Cox, Jake Christum. Jim Cox and Jake Chrisman were killed by the Taylor faction at Tumlinson Creek. Hardin, having by then recovered from the injuries sustained in Sublet's attack, he admitted that there were reports that he had led the fights in which these men were murdered, but he would later neither confirm nor deny his involvement. But, as I have never pleaded to that case, I will at this time have little to say. That's what Hardin said.
Well, you say nothing when you say... Wait, you say something when you say nothing, right?
At all.
Right. Hardin's main notoriety in the Sutton-Taylor feud came from his part in the killing of 2 lawmen known to be Sutton family allies.
Oh, shit.
In Cuero, Texas, May 17, 1873, Hardin killed DeWitt County Deputy Sheriff J.B. Morgan, who served under County Sheriff Jack Helm, who himself was a former captain in the Texas State Police and leader of the Sutton Force at the same time.
Oh, shit.
Later that day, Hardin killed Helm in the town square of Albuquerque, Texas. On the run again in June 18... Albuquerque. On the run again in 1873, Hardin assisted in the escape of his brother-in-law Joshua Bowen from the Gonzales County, Texas jail, where he was imprisoned on an 1872 murder charge. Allegedly, Hardin was also involved in the killing of Thomas Holderman as well.
We don't know.
Jeez.
Maybe. Well, the Sutton and Taylor feud intensified when Jim and Bill Taylor gunned down Billy Sutton and Gabriel Slaughter as they waited on a steamboat platform in Indianola, Texas. That was on 11th of March, 1874. Tired of the feud, the two were planning to leave the area for good. They're like, screw this shit, man. I just love their daughter.
Right.
Hardin admitted that he and his bro, Joseph, had been involved, along with both Taylors, in the murders. After a brief visit to Florida, where he claimed to have been involved in 3 incidents against Negroes, including a lynching, Hardin met with his wife, Jane, and their young daughter, with whom he had relocated under the assumed name Swain. Hardin then met up with his gang on May 26, 1874. See, it's a good thing about back then, dude. They might have like sketches of your face, but you can easily just change your name.
Right.
And you're good. You'd be like, damn, that guy looks like me.
And shave your hair.
Right.
Your mustache and shit. Or grow one. Whatever.
Right. Hardin then met up with his gang on May 26, 1874 in a Comanche saloon to celebrate his 21st birthday. Damn, dude. This dude did this all in 6 years.
Hardin spotted Brown County.
I mean, that's a kind of a long time, though. 6 years.
Most don't even make it a year or two.
Right.
Hardin spotted Brown County Deputy Sheriff Charles Webb entering the premises. He asked Webb if he had come to arrest him. Well, that's stupid. When Webb replied he had not, Hardin invited him into the hotel for a drink. As Webb followed him inside, Hardin claimed he drew his gun. One of Hardin's men yelled out a warning, and in the ensuing gunfight, Webb was shot dead.
Oh, jeez.
It was reported at the time that Webb was shot as he was pulling out an arrest warrant for one of Hardin's group.
Oh.
2 of Hardin's accomplices in the shooting were cousin Bud Dixon and Jim Taylor.
Okay. Well, I'm not here to arrest you, Bud, but
one of your other guys.
I gotta take one of these guys along with me.
Why would you even ask that?
Wow. I know, right? Just don't say anything.
Jeez.
Wow. Well, the death of the popular Webb resulted in the quick formation of a lynch mob. Hardin's parents and wife were taken into protective custody, while his brother Joe and 2 cousins, brothers Bud and Tom Dixon, they were arrested on outstanding warrants. A group of local men broke into the jail in July of 1874. They hanged Joe, Bud,
shit.
and Tom.
Bye-bye.
After this, Hardin and Jim Taylor parted ways for good.
I'm sick of this.
Hardin, he would claim that he twice drove away men connected to the feud who had come for him, killing a man in each encounter. Possibly.
Well, go on to November 18th, 1875. The leader of the Suttons, ex-Cuero, Texas Town Marshal Reuben Brown, was shot and killed by 5 men in Cuero, along with a Negro named Tom Freeman, and another Negro was wounded. In his autobiography, Hardin made only 2 references to Brown.
Oh.
One was that Rube Brown had arrested William Taylor before sending him to Galveston, Texas for trial, and that Brown had been among the leaders of a Sutton posse that had been out to get him in Gonzales County, Texas.
All right.
It is not known if Hardin was directly or indirectly involved in the killing of Reuben Brown, as he makes no further mention of the incident in his life story.
Probably not.
You would think. I mean, what else has got to lose?
All right. 20th of January, 1875, Texas legislator authorized Governor Richard B. Hubbard offer a $4,000 reward for Hardin's arrest. Undercover Texas Ranger Jack Duncan, he intercepted a letter sent to Hardin's father-in-law by his brother-in-law, Joshua Robert Brown, which is Bowen. They call him Brown for some reason.
I think he probably was using the last name Brown.
Right. The letter mentioned that Hardin was hiding out on the Alabama-Florida borderline, using the name James W. Swain. In his autobiography, Hardin admitted that he had adopted this alias from Brenham, Texas, town marshal Henry Swain, who had married a cousin of Hardin's named Molly Parks. Okay.
All right, stole his name, huh? What was his last name, at least? March 1876, Hardin wounded a man in Florida who had tried to mediate a quarrel between him and another man. November 1876, Hardin was arrested briefly for having marked cards in Mobile, Alabama. Oh. Trying to cheat, huh?
Oh, maybe he was cheating the whole time.
Could have been.
Son of a bitch.
2 former slaves of his father's, Jake Menzel and Robert Borup, tried to capture Hardin in Gainesville, Florida in May 1877.
Shit. He's like, you remember me, motherfucker?
All right. Hardin killed one and blinded the other.
Oh.
August 24th, 1877, Rangers and local authorities confronted Hardin on a train to Pensacola, or in Pensacola. He attempted to draw a .44 Colt cap and ball pistol, but it got caught up in his suspenders.
Oh, no.
The officers knocked Hardin unconscious. They arrested 2 of his companions and Ranger John B. Armstrong Kill a third, which was a man named Man, who had a pistol in his hand. The man named Man who had a pistol in his hand. Hardin claimed that he was captured while smoking his pipe, and Duncan only found Hardin's pistol under his shirt after his arrest. Maybe it's true.
Maybe, possible. Well, Hardin, he was tried for web killing, and on the 5th of June, 1878, 25 years in prison in Huntsville. 1879, Hardin, 50 other convicts were stopped within hours of successfully tunneling into the prison armory.
Oh.
Wow. Hardin made several attempts to escape. During his prison term, February 14th, 1892, convicted of another manslaughter charge for the earlier shooting of J.B. Morgan. And he given another 2-year sentence to be served concurrently with his unexpired 25-year sentence. Hardin eventually adapted to prison life.
Hey, you got no choice.
While there, he read theological books, becoming the superintendent of the prison Sunday school.
Nice.
And he also studied law.
He sure did. He was plagued by recurrent poor health while in prison, especially by the wound he had received from sublet when it became reinfected in 1888.
Son of a bitch.
Which caused him to be bedridden for almost 2 years. 1892, Hardin was described as 5'9", 160 pounds, with a fair complexion, hazel eyes, dark hair, and wound scars on his right knee, left thigh, right side, hip, elbow, shoulder, and back.
Damn.
During Hardin's stay in prison, his first wife, Jane, died November 6, 1892.
Damn.
While there, he wrote an autobiography. Yes, he did. He was well known for wildly exaggerating or completely making up stories about his life, though, which everybody did.
Right.
He claimed credit for many murders that cannot be corroborated.
Okay.
He wrote that he was first exposed to violence in 1861 when he saw a man named Jed. When he saw a man named Turner Evans stabbed by John Ruff.
Oh.
Evans died of his injuries and Ruff was jailed.
Okay.
Hardin wrote, "Readers, you see what drink and passion will do. If you wish to be successful in life, be temperate and control your passions. If you don't, ruin and death is the result."
I mean, he's got enough of both.
Yeah.
Jeez, Peter.
If there's anybody you can take that from, it's him, huh?
You ain't kidding. Son of a bitch. This guy, man. He's lived quite a bit, too. What, 40-something now?
Well, we'll see, won't we?
Hardin, released from prison, 17th February, 1894.
That guy.
He served 17 years of his 25-year sentence.
How many times do these guys actually serve long-ass prison sentences like this?
That's crazy, especially back then.
All right.
He was 40 years old when he returned to Gonzales, Texas. Later, I mean, it's got to be nice when you return back and hey, I'm actually a cleared man here, right? You don't have to worry about people trying to arrest you.
Well, that would be good if you acted right when you got back.
Well, later that year, on the 16th of March, Hardin was pardoned. And on July 21st, he passed the state's bar examination.
Everything's looking up for the old chap.
He obtained his license to practice law. Look at this guy. Old Hardin and Hardin and Hardin. But it's only him.
Right.
Hardin, what was his
multiple
family's name?
personalities.
Hardin, Dixon, and Swain. According to a newspaper article in 1900, shortly after his being released from prison, Hardin committed negligent homicide when he made a $5 bet that he could, at the first shot, knock a Mexican man off the soapbox on which he was sunning himself on.
Oh.
Winning the bet and leaving the man dead from the fall and not the gunshot.
Oh, wow.
9th of January, 1895, Hardin married a 15-year-old girl named Callie Lewis.
Well, you fucking perv.
Wow. The marriage ended quickly, although it was never even legally dissolved. Oh, so they're still married.
Apparently.
Afterward, Hardin moved to El Paso, which is in Texas.
Now, an El Paso lawman, John Selman Jr., arrested Hardin's acquaintance and part-time prostitute, Maraz, whatever you want to say, for brandishing a gun in public.
Oh.
Hardin confronted Selman, and the two men argued. Some accounts state that Hardin pistol-whipped the younger man. Selman's 56-year-old father, Constable John Selman, who himself was a notorious gunman and former outlaw, approached Hardin on the afternoon of August 19th, 1895, and the two men exchanged heated words.
Oh.
That night, Hardin went to the Acme Saloon where he began playing dice. Shortly before midnight, Selman Sr. entered the saloon, walked up to Hardin from behind, shot him in the head, killing him instantly.
Oh, shit.
Got the old Wild Bill treatment, huh?
Damn. As Hardin lay on the floor, Selman fired 3 more shots into him.
Jeez.
Selman Sr. was arrested for murder and stood trial. He claimed self-defense, stating that he witnessed Hardin attempting to draw his pistol upon seeing him enter the saloon, and a hung jury resulted in his being released on bond pending retrial. However, before the retrial could even be organized, Selman was murdered in a shootout with United States Marshal George Scarborough on the 6th of April, 1896, during an argument following a card game.
Jeez.
These fucking card games. Hardin buried following day, Concordia Cemetery, El Paso.
Oh, well, not so fast, because according to the Texas State Historical Association website, he took the wife of one of his clients, which was Martin Mraz, a cattle thief who had fled to Mexico. That's the mistress lady in the earlier version.
Okay.
When Mraz found out about the affair, he crossed the border to confront Hardin under the promise of safe passage by lawman George Scarborough, whereupon he was killed by a number of law officials. Oh, jeez. Hardin was rumored to have hired the officers to assassinate him. August 19th, 1895, Constable John Selman, one of the officers involved in Mraz's killing, supposedly, shot Hardin in the Acme Saloon, possibly, some have argued, because he was not paid for the murder of Mraz.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it doesn't make sense just because he drew his guns on the kid.
Right. Yeah.
That he just walk up and shoot him in the back of the head.
Right. Son of a bitch.
So, whatever you guys want to believe there, I guess. But this is straight from the Texaco State Historical Association. So,
Well, a century later, August 27th, 1995, there was a confrontation between 2 groups at the site of Hardin's grave. Oh. One group,
100 years later.
right? One group representing several of Hardin's great-grandchildren sought to relocate his body to Nixon, Texas, to be interred next to the grave of his first wife, Jane. The other group, consisting of locals from El Paso, sought to prevent the move. They're like, no, that's all we have. I'm like, dude, it's El Paso.
Right. Well, yeah, that's all we have.
Right. At the cemetery, the group representing Hardin's descendants presented a disinterment permit for the body. Oh. While the El Pasoans presented a court order prohibiting its removal.
Jeez.
Both sides accused the other parties of seeking the tourist revenue generated by the location of the body. A subsequent lawsuit ruled in favor of keeping the body in El Paso.
I might as well. Hardin's crimes and murders were all committed before the age of 23 when he was sentenced to prison. He claimed to have killed 42 men, but newspaper accounts can only confirm 27. Hardin's life events, real or exaggerated, made him a legend of the Old West and an icon of American folklore.
Oh.
His autobiography was published posthumously in 1925 by Bandera publisher, historian, and journalist J. Marvin Hunter, who was founder of the Frontier Times magazine and the Frontier Times Museum.
Fantastic. Let's take a look at some confirmed shootings. November 1868, prior to December 9th, 1868.
Somewhere around there.
Hardin shot and mortally wounded Major Holshausen near
That's the slave he got into a wrestling match with.
right near Moscow, Polk County, Texas. January 5th, 1870, Hardin killed Benjamin Bradley and claimed to have brought about the disappearance of a Judge Moore in Hill County, Texas. January 27th, 1871, Hardin killed Texas State Policeman John Smalley. June 1st, 1871, Hardin murdered 3 Mexican cowboys in Park City, Kansas. 20th of July, 1871, Hardin involved in the killing of a Mexican outlaw in Sumner City, Kansas.
August 6, 1871, Hardin killed Charles Cougar, yes, in Abilene, Kansas. October 6, 1871, he killed Texas Special Policeman Green Paramore and wounded policeman John Lackey.
Oh.
June 19, 1872, Hardin is wounded in a gunfight in Willis, Texas. July 26, 1872, he wounded Texas State policeman Sonny Spates in Hemphill, Texas.
All right.
July 17, 1873, Hardin killed J.B. Morgan in Cuero, Texas.
Fantastic. Moving on to the 18th of July, 1873, Hardin murdered DeWitt Sheriff Jack Helm in Albuquerque, Texas. March 11th, 1864, Hardin was involved in Jim Taylor and William Taylor's killing of William Sutton and Gabriel Slaughter. 26th of May, 1874, Hardin, he killed Deputy Sheriff Charles Webb in Comanche, Texas. March 1876, Hardin shot and wounded W.C. Overbay in Gainesville, Florida. November 1876, Hardin and Joe Kennedy arrested for having marked cards in Mobile, Alabama. The Mobile policeman, Sergeant Ryan, shot in the arm.
Mid-1877, Jake Menzel and Robert Borup tried to capture Hardin in Gainesville. Hardin killed one and blinded the other. 1894, after his release from prison, we know the $5 bet knocking the sleeping Mexican off of the box.
Damn.
We got some unconfirmed claims as well.
Uh-oh.
Hardin's autobiography is filled with statements which can either not be confirmed independently from his book or differ wildly from the historical record. He claimed that after killing Mage, which was Major Holhausen guy, he shot 3 Union soldiers of the U.S. 4th Cavalry Regiment at a creek crossing in Logulus Prairie, which is now Nogulus Prairie,
I believe that he
in Texas.
He seems like he was a paranoid, on-edge guy.
But none of the military records name Hardin as a suspect, nor do any facts agree with his claims.
Well, they're dead, though, right?
Circumstantial evidence is that a murder was committed here, but the names and number of victims are unknown.
Oh, okay. In Pisgah, Texas, Hardin claimed he shot a man's eye out to win a bottle of whiskey and a bet. Hardin said he shot one of the 2 soldiers killed in 1869 at Richland Bottom. The other had been shot by his cousin Simpson Dixon. They call him Simp.
Totally different meaning nowadays.
Right. A member of the Ku Klux Klan. And he was also a member of a Bob Lee outlaw gang who hated Union soldiers. Records indicate that a sergeant...
Simp?
Yeah. Records indicate that a Sergeant J.F. Leonard of Company B, 6th U.S. Cavalry, was wounded at Livingston, Texas on 7th of May, 1869. Simp Dixon was killed by U.S. soldiers in February of 1870. Allegedly, Hardin killed a black man in Leon County, Texas. That's what he said.
That's what he says. January 1870, Hardin claimed he killed a circus hand at Horn Hill, Texas.
Why?
A contemporary newspaper account did report a fight in Union Hill, Texas between circus canvasmen and roughs who tried to get in without paying. Although the outcome did not conclude the way Hardin claimed it did.
Okay.
Nobody got killed.
Right.
A few days later, Hardin killed a man in Cossie, Texas. There are no contemporary newspapers to confirm this shooting. Author Charles Atkins, in his 1970 book Texas Guns and History, claimed the victim was named Alan Comstock. However, he did not furnish any references to back up his claim.
Oh, okay.
Well, just saying it.
He's like, that sounds good.
All right.
Well, Hardin also claimed following his January 1871 escape from stakes in Smalley, he killed a Mr. Smith, a Mr. Jones, and a Mr. Davis in Bell County, Texas. No contemporary newspaper accounts from Bell County confirmed these additional murders. February 1871, Hardin claimed that a freed man named Bob King attempted to cut a beef cow out of the herd. When he refused to obey Hardin's demand to stop, Hardin hit him over the head with a pistol. That same month, Hardin claimed to have been involved in a shooting incident in which he wounded 3 Mexicans in an argument over a 3-card Monte card game.
Yeah, we know the 3 Mexicans.
Right.
Yeah, those are
Shot the guy in the lung.
not substantiated.
Right.
Hardin made the claim to have withdrawn Wild Bill Hickok. No contemporary newspaper accounts confirm this because they would have wrote about it.
Yeah.
But another report suggests that it was Hickok who made Hardin put up his guns. Well, obviously, yeah. Right. Another man claimed that he killed a man. Another claim was that he killed a man in Abilene, Kansas in the summer of 71. No contemporary newspaper accounts with evidence of such a killing exist, although a 1924 account does report a saloon shooting in some respects similar to Hardin's version.
Oh, okay. As noted above, Hardin claimed to have captured Abilene law officer Tom Carson and other officers and humiliated them sans clothing. What?
Made him take off their clothes and walk back, remember?
Right. Although Carson was a law officer, he did not have any interactions with Hardin at all.
Hardin, you lying?
Hardin claimed that after killing Green Paramore in October 1871, he forced an African-American posse to flee after killing 3 of them. There's not even no accounts of this confirmed.
At an unknown date, May 72, Hardin claimed that 45 miles outside Corpus Christi, he was followed by 2 Mexicans, that he killed one and the other fled. Don't know. Hardin claimed June 19, 1872, in Willis, Texas, some man tried to arrest him for carrying a pistol, but they got the contents instead. Hardin was wounded in a gunfight around this time, but records indicate the fight occurred with just one other man.
Okay.
After being wounded by Sublette in August 1872, Hardin claimed that in September he either killed or drove off one or two members of the of the Texas State Police in Trinity, Texas.
Okay.
Hardin gave different versions of the event at different times. Although during his career he had killed 2 and wounded 2 of the Texas State policemen, these shootings did not occur in Trinity County.
Oh, come on, Hardin. What are you doing, bud? September 1873 in Brooksville, Hernando County, Florida. A former slave named Anlin May shot and killed. Savannah newspaper claimed the killer was John Wesley Hardin on a cattle drive in Central Florida. But didn't he have no proof at all that Hardin was even there or involved. 1874 May, while in Gainesville, Florida, Hardin confessed to having knocked down a black man and shooting another during a disturbance outside the Alachua County Jail. A black prisoner named Eli was lynched when the jail was burned down by a mob. Hardin, he claimed to have been part of that mob. He's like, I was there in the back. No contemporary newspaper accounts even support this, except one suggesting that the first Alachua County jail building suffered a demise.
Maybe that's it. Hardin claimed July 1st, 1874, he drove off 17 Texas Rangers who had been trailing him.
I doubt
and
that.
Killed one of them. This alleged shooting happened after a triple lynching of Hardin's cousin and 2 ranch hands. Yeah. He also claimed to have driven off another group of men after killing one of them.
I mean, I can see it driving off a group of men, but Texas Rangers? You're not going to treat my President Roosevelt like that.
There are no contemporary reports to confirm these stories. Exactly. However, June 1st, 1874, a Texas Rangers company did kill Hardin's cousins, Alexander Berkman and Alexander Anderson, in a gunfight and claimed to have wounded Hardin as well. Oh. Hardin wrote about his cousins' killings, but does not confirm that he was wounded at all and claimed to have heard about their deaths later.
Oh, okay. Later, Hardin and Mac Young, they were supposedly stopped near Belleville, Texas by a posse under Sheriff Charles Langhammer of Austin. They stopped him on suspicion of being horse thieves. Uh-oh. Hardin pulled his guns on Langhammer, but did not even shoot him. He fled instead. Young was arrested and fined $100 for having a concealed pistol. Hardin claimed to have been involved in the killing of 2 Pinkerton agents on Florida-Georgia borderline sometime between April and November of 1876 after a gunfight with a Pinkerton gang who had been tracking him from Jacksonville, Florida. This confrontation is pure fiction, as the Pinkerton Detective Agency never even pursued Hardin. There would be paperwork for that.
Right.
However, 1876 of March, it was alleged that Hardin, a.k.a. Swain, who had wounded W.C. Overby, who had tried to act as a mediator between Hardin and another person.
Okay.
All right.
Hardin claimed that in a saloon on election night in November 1876, he and a companion, Jacksonville policeman Gus Kennedy, were involved in a gunfight with Mobile policemen, in which one person was wounded and 2 killed. He further claims that he and Kennedy were arrested and later released. This appears to be another case of an exaggerated encounter. Hardin and Kennedy were simply arrested and driven out of town for cheating at cards. Again, Hardin's version does not fit with contemporary records, which tell that nobody was killed and the only person injured was a Mobile policeman, Sergeant Ryan, who was shot in the arm.
Hardin claimed to have met 2 notorious fellow outlaws during his life. 1870, he supposedly gambled with Bill Longley. It is possible they met after both were sentenced for their crimes, Hardin receiving 25 years and Longley being executed. Oh. Longley, who boasted above having killed as many men as Hardin, was outraged at the different degrees of sentencing. Oh. Right, he said, they're going to kill me, but let you be.
Fuck, dude.
After being sentenced in September 1878, Hardin supposedly met Johnny Ringo, a fellow convict. And he did that in Austin, Texas jail. In fact, Ringo had been acquitted and freed in May of 1878.
Oh, so you're lying, bud.
Right.
At least 3 other relatives of Hardin's were also killers. James Gipp Hardin, his brother, killed Deputy Sheriff John Terman March 28, 1898, for which he served a jail term. Emmanuel Manning Clements Sr., his cousin, is alleged to have killed 2 cowhands in 1871. Okay. Clements was killed in a saloon March 29, 1887.
Damn.
Ironically, his son, Manning Clements Jr., was an El Paso constable / deputy sheriff 1894 until 1908.
Damn.
Although acquitted of a robbery charge, he was no longer a law officer.
Oh.
Just like his father, he was killed in a saloon December 29, 1908.
Damn.
Deacon Jim Miller, who was an outlaw, and a cousin by marriage, killed Officer Ben C. Collins August 1st, 1906, and was later lynched in April 16, 1909.
Damn.
One relation was a law officer killed in the line of duty. James Birch was killed October 10th, 1897.
No shit.
Jeez, dude.
Oh, Hardin's weapon of choice and several of his personal effects have been well documented and auctioned to private collectors. Court records show that John Wesley Hardin carried a Colt Lightning revolver at the time of his death. He also carried an an Elgin watch when he was shot and killed. The revolver and the watch had been presented to Hardin in appreciation for his legal efforts on behalf of Jim Miller at Miller's trial for killing of an ex-sheriff, George Bud Frazier. The Colt, with a 38 caliber 2.5-inch barrel, is nickel-plated with blued hammer, trigger, and screws. Okay. Nice. It features mother-of-pearl grips, as they always did, and the black strap is hand-engraved JBM to JWH.
Aww.
This gun and his holster were once sold at auction for $168,000.
Nice.
Another Colt revolver known as a 41 caliber Thunderer, which was owned by Hardin and used by him to rob the Gem Saloon, was sold at the same auction for $100,000.
This guy.
Year 2002. What? In 2002, an auction house in San Francisco, California, auctioned 3 lots of John Wesley Hardin's personal effects. One lot containing a deck of his playing cards, one of his business cards, and a contemporary newspaper account of his death. Sold for $15,250. The bullet that killed Hardin, $80,000.
Oh, nice. As usual, Hardin, he's going to be portrayed on film and television as well as in music. He's been portrayed in film by John Denner in the 51 film Texas Rangers, Rock Hudson in the 1953 film The Lawless Breed, Jack Elam in the 1970 film Dirty Dingus McGee.
Hey, someone watched that.
Max Perlich in the 1994 film Maverick.
He was in Maverick?
I guess.
No shit.
John Wayne's character in The Shootist is loosely based on Hardin.
Okay.
Randy Quaid played Hardin in the 1995 TV miniseries Streets of Laredo. In a 1998 episode of Antiques Roadshow, a previously unknown and rare photograph of John was appraised at $30,000 to $50,000.
Fantastic.
Country music singer Johnny Cash wrote and recorded a song about Hardin entitled Hardin Wouldn't Run.
Oh.
Released on his 65 album, Johnny Cash sings the ballads of the True West.
Fantastic.
It relates some of the true events of Hardin's life, including his death at the Acme Saloon. Prior to this, Cash portrayed Hardin in the spoken word introduction to The Slow Rider, which was a track on his 1960 theme album, Ride This Train.
Fantastic.
And folk rocker and the most overrated singer in the history behind Springsteen, Bob Dylan, named his 67 album John Wesley Hardin with a G after the Outlaw, although named, yes. The title track depicts Hardin as a friend to the poor who was never known to hurt an honest man.
Except for the guy that was snoring. Well, I don't know if he was honest.
Right. Well, there you go. That's John Wesley Hardin and his crazy
This dude...
outlaw life.
This dude was a paranoid, on edge, fucking, just a firework guy, right? Just a firework.
A little firecracker.
I like it.
Yeah, John Wesley Hardin. Probably,
Good for him. He's a true wild man.
Right. Could
True.
have been more notable in history
Western.
as Wyatt Earp and them, but
Right.
Billy the Kid. Probably the greatest outlaw.
I would say. Lasted how many years?
What's the rest?
6 years?
The rest of them that are really famous are lawmen, too. So, Wyatt Earp, Wild Bill. That's the only reason why they were popular as they were.
Right.
But, yep, that's John Wesley Hardin. Another episode of Remastered next week. We go back to our serial killing.
Uh-oh.
And it's most likely at this point in time, don't quote me because it could be changed by the time we record it, but looking for maybe a John Wayne Gacy, get a popular guy up in here.
The old stupid clown.
The old stupid clown. So we'll have that. And then if you go to our YouTube, you'll get Outlaws and Gunslingers as well as Battles of the American Civil War all in one place.
The Midwest slasher. Or did he kill with knives?
He killed with whatever he can get his hands on. And then...
the Ohio fucking... something.
Yeah.
Where's he from? It wasn't Ohio, was it?
I don't know. Somewhere around there, Kentucky or something.
Michigan, though, wasn't it?
No.
Didn't he do some killings in Michigan?
Nope.
Thought he was from Michigan.
Nope. Well, we'll be back next week for all of that. Subscribe to our YouTube. Share us with your friends. Give us a review. Spotify, Apple. Answer the Spotify question. And we'll be back then for some more Outlaws and Gunslingers. We are the month of Michiganders Week.
Bang, bang.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe so you never miss out on new episodes of Outlaws and Gunslingers or Battles of the American Civil War, right here on the Bang Dang Network. And don't forget to check out those playlists.